to ancientherbalcare.com. The link is at the top line of the description box. Do not wait. They got my personal endorsement, ancientherbalcare.com. Go click the link. Get yourself some beautiful products.
For coming on this morning and spending some time with us, as you always do. We are now, I don't even know how many. O said 6. I'm saying at least 10.
Yeah, right, 10.
I don't even know where we at with it, man. But we definitely appreciate your time as always, man. Let's get started because we were talking a little bit behind the scenes about health, in particular men, once they hit a certain age. And I don't know if you heard the news, Dr. Boyce, that we had the unfortunate passing of AJ Johnson, comedian AJ Johnson. He passed away. Oh, do you know why?
There's no reason yet. They said his body was found lifeless. They don't have any official cause of death yet.
Yeah, right. And I thought that too. 56 years old. We've had him on the platform a couple months ago. Funny dude. Definitely missed in the comedy world and throughout the community. We see a lot of people, a lot of us, especially in the public realm, dying around at 50, 64. It's a scary thing, man. Talk about that health, the importance of health, and why you see a lot of us dying for the various reasons that we're passing away.
Well, I don't know the specifics of AJ Johnson. I'm very sorry to hear about what happened with him. And I agree, he's very talented, really funny guy. In general, the bigger picture is that I know a lot of brothers. I've seen a lot of brothers that are suicidal and don't even know it. Again, not talking about AJ. I don't know him in particular, but there are a lot of suicidal black men. And the reason that we can't identify them as being suicidal is because the suicide is very slow, right? So if you know that guy who, he uses a lot of drugs, we know he's killing himself. If he's eating a lot of the wrong food, which a lot of us do, myself included, he's slowly killing himself. Obviously, things like drinking and smoking, all those things, you're slowly killing yourself. And the difference is that when you're younger, you don't see it because, we all feel like we're Superman in our 20s and even in our 30s. It's about mid-30s where you start realizing maybe you're not Superman anymore, but then you're kind of in denial. And then also, if you've gotten used to living a certain way in your 20s and your early 30s, and then you keep living that way in your 40s and your 50s, then eventually it kills you. It kills you because, and that's why you see a lot of guys, like particularly maybe rappers and things like that. A lot of them go down around 50, maybe a little bit earlier, a little bit later than 50. And the difference between the guys that survive and the ones that don't is typically adaptability and the humility to say that you can't outsmart God. You can't outdo Mother Nature. You can't beat Father Time. And so as much as in your mind, you might really want to believe that, it's still 1998 and you're still, a very healthy 25-year-old, the world doesn't work that way. Right. And then what makes it really challenging is that because many of us, even it's awkward, right? When you're black, we're the first to die, but we're also the ones who don't want to talk about death. We don't believe we're ever going to die. And then when you do die, which is going to happen to everybody, then you have all this this messiness that can come with your death, right? Estate plan ain't together. Nobody sat around and talked about, where the assets were located. Now your woman, you don't had this ride or die girlfriend. Do you remember DMX's situation? You had this ride or die girlfriend that helped you raise kids and been by your side through all the thick and thin. Now she can't even pay the rent now because she can't get into your bank account.
Yeah. And
I think that anybody who wants to hear a piece of what I'm saying, pay attention to the men who survive. The survivors are the men who adapt. Like I pointed out Jay-Z when we were talking earlier. Jay-Z is an adapter. He realized like, okay, look, I'm in my 30s now. I don't need to be wearing these long jerseys anymore. I'm not a teenager. I'm gonna start dressing like a grown-ass man. And I think our community needs more grown-ass men. He said, look, I could be the young player that's running around with a new woman every week, but no, I'm gonna find me a queen and build a kingdom, right? And that's what he was able to do. And if you notice, that's when his vibration elevated above everyone else. Jay-Z's not a regular rapper. He's still rapping. He's still putting out albums, but he's in a different space where he has no competition other than himself. So I would encourage all the men listening and everybody in between to just adapt. You know, be okay with growing up. Be okay with realizing, okay, I'm a little bit older now. You know, a lot of times I think the reason people are hesitant to even acknowledge that they're getting older is because we live in a world where we're falsely led to believe that you're only relevant if you're young. And I believe that you actually become more relevant when you're older and you act your age, right? So and then the last piece on that is, for my own journey, I had to confront some of the unhealthy eating habits I had. I had to change my lifestyle in terms of running and doing some stuff I wasn't used to doing, and it made a big difference. So adapt. Adaptability is the key to survival. If you cannot adapt, then you will die. Period.
Right. Yeah, you make some great points. I want you to elaborate further, kind of like on the estate planning and the life insurance aspect, because I've seen a lot of people pass. And like you said, no will, nothing's done. And then people start fighting over assets. You know, somebody had a girlfriend on the side, like you said, the wife gets everything, even though the girlfriend was living with them. I've seen all types of stuff. So talk about the importance, you know, of life insurance and making out a will, even though it's a tough thing to do. Nobody wants to actually sit down and do their will, but talk about the importance of getting all your ducks in order before you pass away to avoid the chaos after you pass away.
Well, you said a lot right there. You kind of answered your own question. The chaos, right? If you love your family, you will have a plan for your death. If you hate your family, then you will leave them with no plan. Because when you leave with no plan, anytime the leader, which the man is a natural leader, a lot of women look to the men to lead. They trust the men. And when the leader does not do their job, you have a vacuum of leadership. And if you look, for example, in Afghanistan, when there was a vacuum of leadership, when the leader, remember the president of Afghanistan got scared and flew away and the government just fell apart? Well, there was a vacuum of leadership. And what did that lead to? It led to complete chaos. Because now you got everybody fighting for control, you know, and so effectively, the same thing happens in the family. When the man does not maintain his role as the leader of the house, there's complete chaos, you know, and then when he dies, there's all these questions of who gets what and where's everything at, and so you're kind of creating this massive shit show that's going to happen, where it's damn near an embarrassment on your family. You know, it's bad enough when you go to a funeral. Some of these guys, man, they got little, you know, children popping up out of nowhere. Well, that's my daddy too. You know, all the side chicks showing up. You know, they all crying on each other's shoulder, and that's fine, right? It is what it is. But on top of that, on top of all the grief that people are experiencing, you've got extreme financial misery, pain, and devastation. Why would you do that to people that you love? How can you do that to the people you care about and still call yourself a man? You know, why would you do that to your own children? You know, so it doesn't take a lot of work to just get your little life insurance policy in order. That money goes right to you. You know, they don't have to pay the taxes on it or anything. Like that money instantly transfers. The insurance company pays out just like that. Why not go ahead and do that? It'll only take a few minutes to do it. In terms of the estate plan, trust, having a trust in place, like sitting down with a lawyer and having a trust can be beneficial. At the very least, give your woman access to all your accounts. Give her the information that she needs so that if she's got rent due next week, she can go right down to the bank and get the money out of the bank account. Like you know, with my wife, even though my wife is going to get a bunch of stuff when I die and all of our estates in order, I said to her, I said, here's the access to this, access to that, access. Here's where the money, you know, this money's over here, this money's over there. This is where you go in case something happens to me. Because a man, to me, the goal of a man is to make plans for not just when you're here, but when you're not here. You know, and ask yourself, if I die right now, because a lot of times death does not make an appointment. A heart attack does not tell you, oh, I'm coming on Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Make sure you get your stuff in order. It just happens. And once it happens, it's irreversible and it is permanent. You cannot go back and fix anything that you overlooked while you were alive if you are in the grave. And so I encourage everybody, just take a few minutes and just at least make some basic plans for your family, man. If you really care about your family, you're going to do it.